Ready, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, my dear devotees, all glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Today we're hearing from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 24, and verse number 39. Is that right?
No, 40 minutes.
41?
40.
40. Oh, okay. Verse number 40. And this verse says, my dear Lord, by expanding your transcendental vibrations, you reveal the actual meaning of everything. You are the all-pervading sky within and without, and you are the ultimate goal of pious activities executed both within this material world and beyond it. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances again and again unto you. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Vedic evidence is called Sabda Brahma. There are many things which are beyond the perception of our imperfect senses. Yet, the authoritative evidence of sound vibration is perfect. The Vedas are known as Sabda Brahma because evidence taken from the Vedas constitutes the ultimate understanding. This is because Sabda Brahma, or the Vedas, represents the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, the real essence of Sabda Brahma is the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. By vibrating this transcendental sound, the meaning of everything, both material and spiritual, is revealed. This Hare Krishna is non-different from the personality of Godhead. The meaning of everything is received through the air, through sound vibration. The vibration may be material or spiritual, but without sound vibration, no one can understand the meaning of anything. In the Vedas, it is said, Antarbahischa tat sarvam vyaya Narayana stita. Narayana is all-pervading, and he exists both within and without. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 13:34. Yata prakashai yati eka krishnam lokam imam ravi chitram chitri tata krishnam prakashayati bharata. O son of Bharata, as the sun alone illuminates all this universe, so do the living entity and the supreme and the supersoul illuminate the entire body by consciousness. In other words, the consciousness of both the soul and supersoul is all pervading. The limited consciousness of the living entity is pervading the entire material body, and the supreme consciousness of the Lord is pervading the entire universe. Because the soul is present within the body, consciousness pervades the entire body. Excuse me. Similarly, because the supreme soul, or Krishna, is present within this universe, everything is working in order. Maya Dakshina Prakriti. Shuyate sa characharam. This material nature is working under my direction, Krishna says, O son of Kunti, and it is producing all moving and unmoving beings. Srimad Bhagavad Gita 9.10. Lord Shiva is therefore praying to the personality of Godhead to be kind to us, so that simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, we can understand everything in both the material and spiritual worlds. The word amusmai is significant in this regard because it indicates the best target one can aim for after attaining the higher planetary systems. Those who are engaged in fruitive activities or karmis attain the higher planetary systems as a result of their past activities. And the jnanis who seek unification or a monistic merging with the effulgence of the Supreme Lord also attain their desired end. But in the ultimate issue, the devotees who desire to personally associate with the Lord are promoted to the Vaikuntha Lokas, or Goloka Vrindavana. The Lord is described in Bhagavad Gita 10.12 as Pavitram Paramam, the supreme pure. This is also confirmed in this verse. Sukadeva Goswami has stated that the cowherd boys who played with Lord Krishna were not ordinary living entities. Only after accumulating many pious activities in various births does one get the opportunity to personally associate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Since only the pure can reach him, he is the supreme pure. Okay, very nice. Text number 41. My dear Lord, you are the viewer of the results of pious activities. You are inclination, disinclination, and their resultant activities. You are the cause of the miserable conditions of life caused by irreligion. And therefore, you are death. I offer you my respectful obeisances. Well, in other words, Krishna is everything. Birth and old age and disease and death, everything. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is situated in everyone's heart. And from him issue a living entity's inclinations and disinclinations. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 15:15. Sarvasya chaham kriti sanivisto mata smriti jnanam apahanam cha. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Well, we have to be careful, see, because if we're not practicing Krishna consciousness seriously, we can forget Krishna completely. The Supreme Personality of Godhead causes the asuras to forget him. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Causes the asuras to forget him, and the devotees to remember him. One's disinclinations are due to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, if one's not interested at all of Krishna consciousness, it's caused by Krishna. And why? Because one doesn't have the desire to know something about Krishna. So Krishna helps that person forget everything. According to Bhagavad Gita 16.7, Pavitrim cha nivritim cha jana na vidur asura. The asuras do not know which way one should be inclined to act and which way one should not be inclined to act. In other words, they don't know what to do or what not to do. Although the asuras oppose devotional service, it is to be understood that they are inclined that way due to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because the asuras do not like to engage in the Lord's devotional service, the Lord within gives them the intelligence to forget. We've got to be careful, you see. If we're not interested at all in Krishna consciousness, then Krishna helps the nonsense people completely forget him. Ordinary karmis desire promotion to Pitriloka, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9.25. Yanti deva vrata, devan pitrin yanti pritrivrata. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods, and those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. In this verse, the word dukkha daya is also very significant. For those who are non-devotees are perpetually put into the cycle of birth and death. This is a very miserable condition because one's position in life is attained according to one's activities. The asuras, or non-devotees, are put into such miserable conditions. So, if we are very inclined to be Krishna conscious, then we can not be put in forgetfulness of Krishna. That's why it says, Yanti Deva Vrata, Devan Pitrin Yanti Pritivrata. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. And those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. However, one who worships Krishna goes back to Godhead. So we should not be sidetracked by being what we call attracted to the ancestors or any other anything other than Krishna. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods, and those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Yeah, so we shouldn't be interested in either of those things. We should be interested only in Krishna. In this verse, the word dukkha is also very significant. For those who are non-devotees are perpetually put in the cycle of birth and death. This is a very miserable condition because one's position in life is attained according to one's activities. The asuras, or non-devotees, are put into such miserable conditions. Well, there you are. You definitely don't want to be a non-devotee or an asura. Text 42. My dear Lord, you are the topmost of all bestowers of all benediction, the oldest and supreme enjoyer amongst all enjoyers. You are the master of all the world's metaphysical philosophy. For you are the supreme cause of all causes, Lord Krishna. You are the greatest of all religious principles, the supreme mind, and you have a brain which is never checked by any condition. Therefore, I repeatedly offer my obeisances unto you. Now, see, this is a very significant prayer. We could say this prayer every day. because it keeps us on the right path of Krishna consciousness. Let me read it again. My dear Lord, you are the topmost of all bestowers of all benediction, the oldest and supreme enjoyer amongst all enjoyers. You are the master of all the world's metaphysical philosophy. So metta means it is transcendental to the material body. So metaphysical philosophy would mean the philosophy, the superior philosophy of the soul. You are the master of all the world's metaphysical philosophy, for you are the supreme cause of all causes, Lord Krishna. You are the greatest of all religious principles, the supreme mind, and you have a brain which is never checked by any condition. Therefore, I repeatedly offer my obeisances unto you. Well, this is a prayer that one says when one is very, well, more or less overwhelmed by love for Krishna. And therefore, one can say such beautiful verses to glorify the Lord. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The words Krishnaya Akunta Medase are significant in this verse. Modern scientists have stopped their brain work by discovering the theory of uncertainty. That is really funny. Modern scientists have stopped their brain work by discovering the theory of uncertainty. But factually, for a living being, there cannot be any brain activity which is not checked by time and space limitations. Okay, so that's a double negative. That means it becomes a positive. But factually, for a living being, there cannot be any brain activity which is not checked by time and space limitations. A living entity is called Anu, an atomic particle of the Supreme Soul. And therefore, his brain is also atomic. It cannot accommodate unlimited knowledge. This does not mean, however, that the Supreme Personality Godhead Krishna has a limited brain. What Krishna says and does is not limited by time and space. In Bhagavad Gita 7:26, the Lord says, Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyani chabhutani mantavedana kaschana. O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me, no one knows. So Krishna knows everything in the past, in the present, and the future. And no one else can say this. Only Krishna can say this. Krishna knows everything, but one cannot know Krishna without being favored by him. Important point. Thus, for Krishna and his representative, there is no question of a theory of uncertainty. There is a theory of uncertainty of the Mayavadis. But for a devotee, there's no question of the theory of uncertainty. Everything is clear for a devotee, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, for Krishna and his representative, there is no question of a theory of uncertainty. What Krishna says is all perfect and certain and is applicable to the past, present, and future. That means that Krishna's knowledge is omnipotent. It's true in the past, it's true in the presence, and it's true in the future. Therefore, it's perfect. Nor is there any uncertainty for one who knows exactly what Krishna says. Yeah, you can see how Mayavadis are always speculating. They're never really sure of anything. So for them, there is uncertainty. But for devotees, there's no question of uncertainty. Why? Because devotees know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Not even a blade of grass moves without the mercy of the Lord. And therefore it says, Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyani chabhutani mamtu vedana kaschana. O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me, no one knows. So that means that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and no one is equal to him, no one is greater than him, everyone is subordinate to him. Krishna knows everything, but one cannot know Krishna without being favored by him. Thus, for Krishna and his representative, there is no question of a theory of uncertainty. Yeah, the Mayavadi philosophers have this theory of uncertainty. But for a devotee, there's no question of a theory of uncertainty. Everybody, a devotee knows that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Not even a blade of grass can move without the mercy of Krishna. Therefore, they're never flummoxed. That's a nice word, flummoxed, means confused. Krishna knows everything, but one cannot know Krishna without being favored by him. Thus, for Krishna and his representative, meaning his devotee, there is no question of a theory of uncertainty. Yeah, there is a theory of uncertainty of the scientists. What Krishna says is all perfect and certain and is applicable to the past, present, and future. Nor is there any uncertainty for one who knows exactly what Krishna says. The Krishna consciousness movement is based on Bhagavad Gita as it is, as spoken by Lord Krishna. And for those who are engaged in this movement, there is no question of uncertainty. So uncertainty means you're not clear in your mind about something, and you cannot say for sure if that thing is real or not real. But for a devotee, there's no question of uncertainty, because a devotee knows that Krishna is everything, and that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No one is equal to him, no one is greater than him, and Krishna knows everything. So there's no question of uncertainty. Lord Krishna is also addressed herein as Asisam Isa. The great saintly personalities, sages, and demigods are able to offer benedictions to ordinary living entities, but they in turn are benedicted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Without being benedicted means blessed, by Krishna, one cannot offer benediction to anyone else. The word manave, meaning unto the Supreme Manu, is also significant. The Supreme Manu in Vedic literature is Swayambhuva Manu, who is an incarnation of Krishna. And he's the first Prajapati also, Swayambhuva Manu, or the first Prajapati means first one who produces different living entities in the world. The word Manave, meaning unto the Supreme Manu, is also significant. The Supreme Manu in Vedic literature is Swayambhuva Manu, who is an incarnation of Krishna. All the Manus are empowered incarnations of Krishna. Manvantara Avatara. There are 14 Manus in one day of Brahma. So the Manus are the progenitors of living entities. They produce living entities in the material world. And the Supreme Manu in Vedic literature is Swayambhuva Manu, who is an incarnation of Krishna. All the Manus are empowered incarnations of Krishna. Manvantara Avatara. There are 14 Manus in one day of Brahma, 420 in 1 month, 5,040 in 1 year, and 500,000 and 540,000 Manus in the lifetime of Brahma. Since all the Manus are directors of human society, ultimately Krishna is the supreme director of human society. In other words, no, in another sense, the word Manave indicates the perfection of all kinds of mantras. The mantra delivers the conditional soul from his bondage. So simply by chanting the mantra, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
One can gain deliverance from any condition. Now, see, that's a very, very profound statement. And we should always pay attention to such, let's say, all-encompassing statements. In other words, and in another sense, the word Manave indicates the perfection of all kinds of mantras. The mantra delivers the conditioned soul from his bondage. So simply by chanting the mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
One can gain deliverance from any condition. That means any problem that you're struggling with, anything that you're not sure about, anything that is causing you trouble, all these things can go away by chanting the mantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One can gain deliverance from any condition. There it is. One can gain deliverance from any condition. Karanatmane. Everything has a cause. The theory of chance is repudiated in this verse. So the theory of chance is that there is no ultimate controller in the material world. Everything is happening haphazardly. That's the theory of chance. But this is a false philosophy. Everything has a cause, and the cause is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because everything has its cause, there's no question of chance. Because, the Mayavadis, they make up these philosophies of chance, things that happen haphazardly, and they don't accept that there is a Supreme Personality God who's the controller of everything. So they make up these theories of chance. Karan Tatmane, everything has a cause. The theory of chance is repudiated, in other words, rejected in this verse. Because everything has its cause, there is no question of chance. Yeah, everything is being controlled by Krishna. It's not that something is happening haphazardly. Because so-called philosophers and scientists are unable to find the real cause, meaning they don't understand the existence of Krishna, they foolishly say that everything happens by chance. In Brahma Samhita, Krishna is described as the cause of all causes. Therefore, he is addressed herein as Karanatmani. His very personality is the original cause of everything, the root of everything, and the seed of everything, as described in the Vedanta Sutra, Janmarasya Yata. The absolute truth is the supreme cause of all emanations. That means that Krishna is the cause of everything. The word Sankhya Yogeshwaraya, the word Yogeshwaraya, is also significant herein, for Krishna is described in Bhagavad Gita as Yogeshwara, meaning the master of all mystic powers. Without possessing inconceivable mystic powers, one cannot be accepted as God. There it is. A lot of people falsely claim that they're God, but they don't have the potential. They don't have the power of God. In this age of Kali, those who have a little fragmental portion of mystic power claim to be God. But such pseudo-gods or false gods can only be accepted as fools, for only Krishna is the supreme person who possesses all mystic and yogic perfections. The Sankhya Yoga system, popular at the present moment, was propounded by the atheist Kapila, but the original Sankhya Yoga system was propounded by an incarnation of Krishna, also named Kapila, the son of Devahuti. You see how confusing things can be. There's a real Kapila Deva and a false Kapila Deva. So we are following, we meaning devotees, we're following the real Kapila Deva. But the Mayavadis and other nonsense, foolish people are following the atheist Kapila. And there is an atheist Kapila. The Sankhya Yoga system, popular at the present moment, was propounded by the atheist Kapila. But the original Sankhya Yoga system was propounded by an incarnation of Krishna, also named Kapila, the son of Devahuti. So there is this confusion going on that you go to university and they will teach you all about the false Kapila. But it's only when you come to Vaishnavas that you learn about the real Kapila. So there's so much confusion. Therefore, it's necessary to hear from the acharyas and not from the nonsense speculators. But in the universities, they teach about the false Kapila in philosophy courses. Unfortunately, this is what young people are learning. Instead of learning about the real Kapila, they're learning about the false Kapila. The Sankhya Yoga system, popular at the present moment. Well, Sankhya Yoga is basically science and is very popular. The Sankhya Yoga system, popular at the present moment, was propounded by the atheist Kapila. But the original Sankhya Yoga system was propounded by an incarnation of Krishna, also named Kapila, the son of Devahuti. Similarly, Dattatreya, another incarnation of Krishna, also explained the Sankhya Yoga system. Thus, Krishna is the origin of all Sankhya Yoga systems and mystic yoga powers. The words Purushaya, Puranaya are also worthy of special attention. In Brahma Samhita, Krishna is accepted as the Adi Purusha, the original person, or the original enjoyer. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is also accepted as Purana Purusha, the oldest person. Although he is the oldest of all personalities, he is also the youngest of all as Nava Yomana, meaning he never gets old. Another significant word is dharmaya. Since Krishna is the original propounder of all kinds of religious principles, it is said, Dharmam tu shakshat bhagavat pranitam, Srimad Bhagavatam 6.3.19. No one can introduce a new type of religion, for religion is already there, having been established by Lord Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna informs us of the original Dharma and asks us to give up all kinds of religious principles. The real Dharma is surrender unto him. In the Mahabharata, it is also said, Ye che veda vido vipra, ye shadat yatma vido jana, te vadanti mahatmanam krishnam dharmam sanatanam. The purport is that one who has studied the Vedas perfectly, who is a perfect vipra or knower of the Vedas, who knows what spiritual life actually is, speaks about Krishna, the Supreme Person, as one's Sanatan Dharma, eternal Dharma. Lord Shiva, therefore, teaches us the principles of Sanatan Dharma. So what is Sanatan Dharma? It is the eternal philosophy of Krishna consciousness. Sanatan means eternal, and Dharma means our duty to serve Lord Krishna. Okay, so text 43. My dear Lord, you are the supreme controller of the worker. You are the supreme controller of the worker, sense activities, and results of sense activities, meaning karma. Therefore, you are the controller of the body, mind, and senses. You are also the supreme controller of egotism, known as Rudra. You are the source of knowledge and the activities of the Vedic injunctions. Wow, so Krishna is everything. He's the supreme controller of the worker, sense activities, and results of sense activities or karma. And therefore, he's the controller of the body, mind, and senses. And he's the supreme controller of egotism, known as Rudra, and the source of knowledge and the activities of the Vedic injunction. So it's everything. Purport: everyone acts under the dictation of the ego. Ego means I am. Now, when you say I am, you can either say I am the eternal servant of Krishna, or you can say that I am Krishna. If you say I am Krishna, you're nonsense. If you say I am the eternal servant of Krishna, that is good sense. So this whole idea of ego, I am, is very important philosophy. And here it says in the purport, everyone acts under the dictation of the ego. Okay. the dictation of the ego. Ego means I am. So if one develops a false consciousness, a false I am the Lord, I am the controller, I am the enjoyer, that is false ego. But if you develop the right ego, I am the eternal servant of Krishna, then now we're talking about the truth. Therefore, Lord Shiva is trying to purify false egotism through the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Since Lord Shiva or Rudra is himself the controller of egotism, egotism means who you are, or I am. So Rudra or Krishna or Shiva is himself the controller of egotism. He indirectly wants to be purified by the mercy of the Lord so that his real egotism can be awakened. Yeah. He doesn't want to have false ego. He wants to have real ego. Of course, Lord Rudra is always spiritually awake, but for our benefit, he is praying in this way. Yeah, in other words, he's acting as an ordinary devotee and trying to teach by example. So it says here, since Lord Shiva or Rudra is himself the controller of egotism, he indirectly wants to be purified by the mercy of the Lord so that his real egotism can be awakened. Yeah. So Lord Shiva is a devotee of Krishna, and therefore he wants to understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and that he is the eternal servant of the Lord. But there's also the possibility of developing false egoism and thinking that I am the Supreme Lord. So Lord Shiva does not want that. Since Lord Shiva or Rudra is himself the controller of egotism, he indirectly wants to be purified by the mercy of the Lord so that his real egotism can be awakened. Well, what's the real egotism? I am the eternal servant of Krishna. And the false egotism is I am the Supreme Lord. He indirectly wants to be purified by the mercy of the Lord so that his real egotism can be awakened. Of course, Lord Rudra is always spiritually awake, but for our benefit, he is praying in this way. For the impersonalist, pure egotism is aham brahmasmi. I am not this body, I am spirit soul. But in its actual position, the spirit soul has devotional activities to perform. Therefore, Lord Shiva prays to be engaged both in mind and in action in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord according to the direction of the Vedas. This is the process for purifying false egotism. Cheta means knowledge. Without perfect knowledge, one cannot act perfectly. The real source of knowledge is the vacha, or sound vibration, given by Vedic instructions. Here the word vacha, or vibration, means the Vedic vibration. Well, what's the Vedic vibration? Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.
The origin of creation is sound vibration. And if the sound vibration is clear and purified, perfect knowledge and perfect activities actually become manifest. This is enacted by chanting of the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thus, Lord Shiva is praying again and again for the purification of body, mind, and activities through the purification of knowledge and action under the pure direction of the Vedas. Lord Shiva prays to the Supreme Personality of Godhead so that his mind, senses, and words will all turn towards devotional activities only. Well, now you know, Lord Shiva is chanting Hare Krishna. And all bona fide devotees chant Hare Krishna. And they don't identify with the body. They know that they have an eternal spirit soul. And that the real purpose is to be engaged always in a devotional service to the Lord. So therefore, Lord Shiva prays to be engaged both in mind and in action in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord, according to the direction of the Vedas. This is the process for purifying false egotism. Chaita means knowledge. Without perfect knowledge, one cannot act perfect. The real source of knowledge is the vacha, or sound vibration, given by Vedic instructions. Here the word vacha, or vibration, means the Vedic vibration. The origin of creation is sound vibration, and if the sound vibration is clear and purified, perfect knowledge and perfect activities actually become manifest. This is enacted by the chanting of the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thus, Lord Shiva is praying again and again for the purification of body, mind, and activities through the purification of knowledge and action under the pure directions of the Vedas. Lord Shiva prays to the Supreme Personality of Godhead so that his mind, senses, and words will all turn towards devotional activities only. So, therefore, now we know Lord Shiva is also a devotee, and he's also chanting Hare Krishna, Maha Mantra. Text 44. My dear Lord, I wish to see you exactly in the form of your very dear devotees' worship. My dear Lord, I wish to see you exactly in the form that your very dear devotees worship. You have many other forms, but I wish to see your form that is especially liked by the devotees. Please be merciful upon me and show me that form, for only that form, worshipped by the devotees, can perfectly satisfy all the demands of the senses. Well, what form is he talking about? It's the form of Krishna, or Narayana. Purport. In the Shruti, or Vedic mantra, it is said that the supreme absolute truth is Sarvakama, Sarvagandha, Sarvarasa, or in other words, he is known as Rasovaisa, the source of all relishable relationships, or rasas. We have various senses, the powers of seeing, tasting, smelling, touching, etc. And all the propensities of our senses can be satisfied when the senses are engaged in the service of the Lord. Hrishikena Hrishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Uchite. Bhakti means engaging all the senses in the service of the master of the senses, Hrishikesha. And that's from the Narada Pancharatra. These material senses, however, cannot be engaged in the service of the Lord Therefore, one has to become free from all designations, meaning false ideas about who I am. Sarvapadi vinirmuktam tat puratmena nirmalam. One has to become free from all designation or false egotism and thus become purified. So someone says, I am a member of this family or this race, and we do things in this way or that way. And those are all false identifications. So therefore, Sarvapadi vinirmuktam tatparatmena nirmalam, one has to become free from all designations or false egotism, such as I am a Hindu. That's a false egotism. Or I am a Muslim. That's another false egotism. Or I am a homosexual. That's another egotism. So one has to be free from all designation or false egotism and thus become purified. So what is the real I am? I'm the eternal servant of Krishna. That's the real I am. When we engage our senses in the service of the Lord, the desires or the inclinations of the senses can be perfectly fulfilled. Lord Shiva therefore wants to see the Lord in a form which is inconceivable to the Bodha philosophers or the Buddhists. The impersonalists and the voidists also have to see the form of the Absolute. In Buddhist temples, there are forms of Lord Buddha in meditation. But these are not worshipped like the forms of the Lord in Vaishnava temples. Forms like Radha Krishna, Sitaram, or Lakshmi Narayana. Amongst the different sampradayas or Vaishnava sects, either Radha Krishna or Lakshmi Narayana is worshipped. Lord Shiva wants to see that form perfectly, just as the devotees want to see it. The words Rupam, Priyatamam, Swanam are specifically mentioned here, indicating that Lord Shiva wants to see that form which is very dear to the devotees. The word Swanam is especially significant because only the devotees are very, very dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The yogis, the Gyanis, yogis, and karmis are not particularly dear, for the karmis simply want to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead as their order supplier. Give me this, give me that. The Gyanis want to see him to become one with him. And the yogis want to see him partially represented within their heart as Paramatma. But the bhaktas, or the devotees, want to see him in his complete perfection. As stated in Brahma Samhita 5.30, Venam Kwanantam Aravinda Dalaya Daksham Parhavatam Sam Asitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandarpakoti Kamaniya Visesha Sobam Govinda Maham Rajami. I worship Govinda, the prime of the Lord, who is adept at playing on his flute, whose eyes are blooming like lotus petals, whose head is bedecked with peacock feathers, whose beauty is tinged with the hue of blue clouds, and whose unique loveliness charms millions of cupids. Thus, Lord Shiva's desire is to see the Supreme Personality Godhead as he is described in this way. That is, he wants to see him as he appears to the Bhagavatas, the devotees, The conclusion is that Lord Shiva wants to see him in complete perfection and not in the impersonalist or voidist way. Although the Lord is one in his various forms, Advaitam, Achyutam, and Adam, still his form as the young enjoyer of the gopis and companion of the cowherd boys, Kishora Murti, is the most perfect form. Thus, Vaishnavas accept the form of the Lord in his Vrindavana pastimes as the chief form. Yeah, so pure devotees want to see the Lord as the young Krishna playing with the cows in the spiritual world where there's no meat eating, gambling, sex, intoxication. There's only pure love for Krishna. Okay, so then we'll go to one more verse, 45 and 46. The Lord's beauty resembles a dark cloud during the rainy season. As rainfall glistens, meaning it has a certain light to it. His bodily features also glisten. Indeed, he is the sum total of all beauty. The Lord has 4 arms and an exquisitely beautiful face with eyes like lotus petals, a beautiful, highly raised nose, a mind-attracting smile, a beautiful forehead, and equally beautiful and fully decorated ears. Wow. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. After the scorching heat of summer season, it is very pleasing to see dark clouds in the sky. As confirmed in Brahma Samhita, Bhagavatham Sam, Asitam Buddha Sundarangam. The Lord wears a peacock feather in his hair, and his bodily complexion is just like a blackish cloud. The word Sundara or Snigna means very pleasing. Kandarpakoti Kamaniya. Krishna's beauty is so pleasing that not even millions upon millions of cupids can compare to it. The Lord's form as Vishnu is decorated in all opulence. Therefore, Lord Shiva is trying to see the most opulent form of Narayana or Vishnu. Generally, the worship of the Lord begins with the worship of Narayana or Vishnu, whereas the worship of Lord Krishna and Radha is most confidential. Lord Narayana is worshipable by the Pancharatrika Vidhi or regulative principles, whereas Lord Krishna is worshipable by the Bhagavata Vidhi. No one can worship the Lord in the Bhagavata Vidhi without going through the regulations of the Pancharatrika Vidhi. Actually, neophyte devotees worship the Lord according to the Pancharatrika Vidhi, or the regulative principles enjoined in the Narada Pancharatra. Radha Krishna cannot be approached by the neophyte devotees. Therefore, temple worship according to regulative principles is offered to Lakshmi Narayana. Although there may be a Radha Krishna Vigraha or form, the worship of the neophyte devotees is acceptable as Lakshmi Narayana worship. Worship according to Pancharatrika Vidhi is called Vidhi Marga, and worship according to the Bhagavata Vidhi principles is called Raga Marga. The principles of Raga Marga are especially meant for devotees who are elevated to the Vrindavana platform. The inhabitants of Vrindavana, the gopis, Mother Yasoda, Nanda Maharaja, the cowherd boys, the cows, and everyone, are actually on the Raga Marga or Bhagavata Marga platform. They participate in 5 basic rasas: Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya, and Santa. But although these 5 rasas are found in the Bhagavata Marga, the Bhagavata Marga is especially meant for Vatsalya and Madhurya, or paternal and conjugal relationships. Yet there is the Vishralamba Sakya, the higher paternal worship of the Lord, especially enjoyed by the cowherd boys. Although there is friendship between Krishna and the cowherd boys, this friendship is different from the Aishwarya, gigantic universal form of the Lord. When Arjuna saw, this friendship is different from the Aishwarya friendship between Krishna and Arjuna. When Arjuna saw the Vishwarupa, the gigantic universal form of the Lord, he was afraid for having treated Krishna as an ordinary friend. Therefore, he begged Krishna's pardon. However, the cowherd boys, who are friends of Krishna in Vrindavana, sometimes ride on the shoulders of Krishna. They treat Krishna equally, just as they treat one another, and they are never afraid of him, nor do they ever beg his pardon. Thus, the Raga Marga, or Bhagavata Marga friendship, exists on a higher platform with Krishna, namely the platform of Vipralamba friendship. Paternal friendship, paternal service, and conjugal service are visible in the Vrindavan Raga Marga relationships. Without serving Krishna according to the Vidhi Marga regulative principles of the Panchatrika Vidhi, unscrupulous persons want to jump immediately to the Raga Marga principles. Such persons are called Sahajas. There are also demons who enjoy depicting Krishna and his pastimes with the gopis, taking advantage of Krishna by their licentious, meaning lusty character. These demons who print books and write lyrics on the Raga Marga principles are surely on the way to hell. Unfortunately, they lead others down with them. Devotees in Krishna consciousness should be very careful to avoid such demons. One should strictly follow the Vidhi Marga regulative principles in the worship of Lakshmi Narayana. Although the Lord is present in the temple as Radha Krishna includes Lakshmi Narayana. Therefore, when one worships the Lord according to the regulative principles, the Lord accepts the service and the role of Lakshmi Narayana. In the Nectar of Devotion, full instructions are given about the Vidhi Marga, or worship of Radha Krishna, or Lakshmi Narayana. Although there are 64 kinds of offenses one can commit in Vidhi Marga worship, in Raga Marga worship, there is no consideration of such offenses because the devotees on that platform are very much elevated and there is no question of offense. But if we do not follow the regulative principles on the Vidhi Marga platform and keep our eyes trained to spot offenses, we will not make progress. In his description of Krishna's beauty, Lord Shiva uses the words Charvayata, Chaturbahu Sujata, Rachirananam, indicating the beautiful 4-armed form of Narayana or Vishnu. Those who worship Lord Krishna describe him as Sujata, Rachirananam. In the Vishnu Tattva, there are hundreds of thousands and millions of forms of the Supreme Lord. But of all these forms, the form of Krishna is the most beautiful. Thus, for those who worship Krishna, the word Sujata, Rachirananam is used. The four arms of Lord Vishnu have different purposes. The hands holding a lotus flower and conch shell are meant for the devotees, whereas the other two hands holding a disc and mace or club are meant for the demons. Actually, all of the Lord's arms are auspicious, whether they're holding conch shells and flowers or clubs and discs. The demons killed by Lord Vishnu's chakra, disc, and club are elevated to the spiritual world, just like the devotees who are protected by the hands holding the lotus flower and conch shell. However, the demons are elevated to the spiritual world, are situated in the impersonal Brahman effulgence, whereas the devotees are allowed to enter into the Vaikuntha planets. Those who are devotees of Lord Krishna are immediately elevated to the Goloka Vrindavana planet. The Lord's beauty is compared to rainfall, because when the rain falls in the rainy season, it becomes more and more pleasing to the people. After the scorching heat of the summer season, the people enjoy the rainy season very much. Indeed, they even come out of their doors in the villages and enjoy the rainfall directly. Thus, the Lord's bodily features are compared to the clouds of the rainy season. The devotees enjoy the Lord's beauty because it is a collection of all kinds of beauty. Therefore, the word Sarva Saundarya Sangraham is used. No one can say that the body of the Lord is wanting in beautiful parts. It is completely purnam. Everything is complete. God's creation, God's beauty, and God's bodily features, all these are so complete that all one's desires can become fully satisfied when one sees the beauty of the Lord. The word Sarva Saundarya indicates that there are different types of beauties in the material and spiritual worlds, and that the Lord contains all of them. But materialists and spirituals can enjoy the beauty of the Lord because the Supreme Lord attracts everyone, including demons and devotees, materialists and spirituals. He is called Krishna. Similarly, his devotees also attract everyone. As mentioned in the Sat Goswami Sutra, Dira Dira Jana Priyo, the Goswamis are equally dear to the Dira, devotees, and Adira, demons. Lord Krishna was not very pleasing to the demons when he was present in Vrindavan, but the 6 Goswamis were pleasing to the demons when they were present in Vrindavan. That is the beauty of the Lord's dealings with his devotees. Sometimes the Lord gives more credit to his devotees than he takes for himself. For instance, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Lord Krishna fought simply by giving directions. Yet it was Arjuna who took the credit for fighting. Nimitta matram bhava savyasachin. You, O Sabyasachi, Arjuna, can be but an instrument in the fight. Bhagavad Gita 11.33. Everything was arranged by the Lord, but the credit of victory was given to Arjuna. Similarly, in this Krishna consciousness movement, everything is happening according to the predictions of Lord Chaitanya. But the credit goes to Lord Chaitanya's sincere servants. Thus, the Lord is described herein as Sarva Saundarya Sangraman. Okay, so what does that mean? Sarva Saundarya indicates that there are different types of beauties in the material and spiritual worlds, and that the Lord contains all of them. both materialists and spiritualists can enjoy the beauty of the Lord, because the Supreme Lord attracts everyone, including demons and devotees, materialists and spiritualists. He is called Krishna. Similarly, his devotees also attract everyone. As mentioned in the Sad Goswami Sutra, Dira Dira Jana Priyo. The Goswamis are equally dear to the Dira devotees and Adira demons. Okay, so we'll stop right there. Are there any questions anyone would like to ask? Any questions or comments?
One question, Maharaj.
Yes.
So here it says 6 Goswamis were pleasing to the demons when they were present in Vrindavan.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate?
And what is the question?
No, I'm not understanding that. How Goswamis are pleasing to the demons.
Well, because the Goswamis had no desire for sense gratification. So, therefore, they were completely pure in mind and in body, and therefore they were pleasing to the dacoits as well as to the devotees. The dacoits respected them also because they were very kind and gentle and were not, let's say, judgmental. So let's see where that is said. Yeah, so it says, as mentioned in the Sad Goswami Sutra, Dira Dira Jana Priyo. The Goswamis are equally dear to the Dira devotees and Adira demons. Lord Krishna was not very pleasing to the demons when he was present in Vrindavan, but the 6 Goswamis were pleasing to the demons when they were present in Vrindavan. That is the beauty of the Lord's dealings with his devotees. Sometimes the Lord gives more credit to his devotees than he takes for himself. For instance, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Lord Krishna fought simply by giving directions. Yet it was Arjuna who took the credit for fighting. Nimitta matram bhava savyasachin. You, O Sabyasachi, Arjuna, can be but an instrument in the fight. Bhagavad Gita 11:33. Everything was arranged by the Lord, but the credit of victory was given to Arjuna. Similarly, in the Krishna consciousness movement, everything is happening according to the predictions of Lord Chaitanya, but the credit goes to Lord Chaitanya's sincere servants. Thus, the Lord is described herein as Sarva Sundarya Sangraman, that Sarva Sundarya indicates that there are different types of beauties in the material and spiritual worlds, and that the Lord contains all of them. So Sarva Sundarya Sangraman means the full gamut of beautiful things in this world. And that is seen in the form of Lord Chaitanya and his sincere servants. Thus, the Lord is described as Sarva Sundarya Sangraham. So Sarva Sundarya indicates that there are different types of beauties in the material and spiritual worlds, and that the Lord contains all of them. Both materialists and spiritualists can enjoy the beauty of the Lord, because the Supreme Lord attracts everyone, including demons and devotees, materialists and spiritualists. He is called Krishna. Similarly, his devotees also attract everyone, as mentioned in the Sat Goswami Sutra. Dira Dira Jana Priyo. The Goswamis are equally dear to the Dira, the devotees, and the Adira, the demons. Lord Krishna was not very pleasing to the demons when he was present in Vrindavana, but the 6 Goswamis were pleasing to the demons when they were present in Vrindavana. That is the beauty of the Lord's dealings with his devotees. Sometimes the Lord gives more credit to his devotees than he takes for himself. For instance, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Lord Krishna fought simply by giving directions. Yet it was Arjuna who took the credit for fighting. Nimitta matram bhava savyasachin. You, Sabyasachi, meaning Arjuna, can be but an instrument in the fight. Everything was arranged by the Lord, but the credit of victory was given to Arjuna. Similarly, in the Krishna consciousness movement, everything is happening according to the predictions of Lord Chaitanya, but the credit goes to Lord Chaitanya's sincere servants. Thus, the Lord is described herein as Sarvya Sundarya Sangramham. In other words, there are different types of beauties in the material and spiritual world, and that the Lord contains all of the beauties. Both materialists and spiritualists can enjoy the beauty of the Lord. So, when we come to Krishna consciousness movement, everything is happening according to the predictions of Lord Chaitanya. But the credit goes to Lord Chaitanya's sincere devotees or servants. Thus, the Lord is described here as Sarva Sundarya Sangraham, which means that there are different types of beauties in the material and spiritual world, and the Lord contains all of them. Both materialists and spiritualists can enjoy the beauty of the Lord, because the Supreme Lord attracts everyone, including demons and devotees, materialists and spiritualists. He is called Krishna. Similarly, his devotees also attract everyone, as mentioned in the Sat Goswami Sutra, Dira Dira Shana Priyo. The Goswamis are equally dear to the Dira devotees and Adira demons. Haribol. Okay, so any questions, comments? All right, well, we'll stop there and continue 11 hours from now. Thank you very much, my dear devotees. Please chant Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
And don't be confused by anything. If there's something that you're not understanding, just ask a question and we'll discuss it. That's why it's so nice to be able to ask questions to clear any doubts that you may have. And we should have many doubts, because this philosophy is transcendental philosophy. It's way beyond our normal human ability to understand things. Therefore, we need to ask questions and eliminate any doubts that we have. Thank you very much, my dear devotees. Please chant Hare Krishna and be happy. And don't have any doubts in your mind. But if you do, you can ask questions and get those doubts wiped away by knowledge. Haribol.